Hey everyone, Sweet Shiny Cage here. Welcome back to part 16 of the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree full playthrough walkthrough. In this section of the walkthrough, we're going to go through the Shadowkeep Church District area, which is here. We are going to fight a boss here. That's going to be a Remembrance boss. And then we are going to fight a boss here. That's a Remembrance boss as well. We're also going to fight a couple of mini-bosses here, and then we're actually going to get to this building over here, which has a serious amount of Scadutree Fragments, which is a huge reason we're doing this. Okay, speaking of, I'll show you my stats. Current level 204 with a level 13 Scadutree Blessing and a level 7 Revered Spirit Ash Blessing. I've collected 31 Scadutree Fragments out of 50 so far, and 15 out of 25 Revered Spirit Ash. Okay, so let's get started. Trying to think if I want to change my affinities or anything, but I think we're fine. Yeah. Okay, great. So this is the Church District. You can see that it is completely flooded. You should have flashbacks to New Londo Ruins in Dark Souls 1. We will drain it, but first we got to get there. So let's jump onto this rooftop. Come over here. Come over here. Now, if you like, you can come this way and sort of navigate all of these logs and everything. You really don't have to. There's, I guess let's do it just to get that one item. These items are still findable after you drain the place. Also, don't be scared by the earthquake. There is an enemy underneath us that is swimming around. We will fight it eventually. Let's come over here. All this is still reachable. All right, get a Great Grave Glovewort. Come back around here. Okay, back over here, plop here, jump onto the roof, and we're good to go. Okay, so that's that. All right, jump onto this window, and then jump over. And then there will be some exploding corpses that show up. So you want to just grab this really quick, and then jump up here, come over here, and then jump over here. And then you can ignore these corpses. There's going to be a fire monk up here. These guys are kind of annoying because they summon these fireballs that hover above the enemy and then start moving towards you. And you're going to be very careful. You don't just want to go in on these guys. I'm doing a poor job exemplifying not doing that. But you don't want to do that because they have a lot of their own incantations that do a lot of fire damage and just keep spreading. Okay, so that's that. You definitely want to kill that guy because there's an item on the other side of this. You definitely want to kill that guy because the next jump we have to make is kind of precarious, and you don't want to get hit by a fireball on the way up, because then you'll just get hit by a fireball and drop and die. All right, come up here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Be careful when climbing up here, because this ceiling is bombed out. Okay, yeah, there's no items here. Great. All right, so let's drop. Drop right here. Perfect. There is an item on the other rafter over here. So come back up here. And we can grab this item here. Stormhawk Feather. And then come here, and then we can just fall right through this hole. Now, if you recall... Kill these crabs. If you recall, we were invaded twice throughout our playthrough so far by... Wow. By an NPC invader named Fireknight Queelign. Fireknight Queelign, the second time he invaded, dropped a key. That was the prayer room key, and that key opens this door. So let's speak with him.
I have met many who would threaten or distress thee, and quelled each and all. And I hereby swear to never cease. So please, grant me thy grace. Leave me with my solitary light. Queen Marika, I implore thee, bestow thy grace. Take not from me my solitary light.
Okay, so this is a choice we're not going to make just yet. There are two types of iris items in the game. There's an iris of occultation, and then there's also an iris of grace, I think it's called. Yeah, an iris of grace. So these can be found within Shadow Keep. However, well, the iris of grace can be found in Shadow Keep. We do have one occultation, but I don't want to use either of these yet. If you give him the iris of occultation, you'll get his weapon. But if you give him the iris of grace, you'll get him as a spirit ash. So if you don't have an iris of grace yet, just leave him. He'll stay here forever. But if you just want his weapon, give him the iris of occultation. I believe there are 2 of each iris available in the game. Both of the iris of graces are available in Shadow Keep, I believe, in the Specimen Storehouse. And then there is an iris of occultation in the Fort of Reprimand, what we got, and then another one in Shadow Keep. Actually, in this area, there's another iris of occultation from a mini-boss that we will kill. And then iris of grace. Yeah, so in the storehouse, and then another one of grace located here in Shadow Keep Church District. So let's move on, but whatever you want to do, it's up to you. You can't get both rewards in one playthrough, so you'll have to come back on New Game Plus if you want the other. So more Fire Monk nonsense. These guys are just really annoying to fight. These might be my least favorite enemies to fight in the entire DLC. I just find them so frustrating to deal with. Yeah, great. Okay, that's that guy. Come in here. Grab Rune of an Unsung Hero. The great heroes of the war were richly blessed by the grace of the Erd Tree, but were not honored in death. All right. So we have this room as well. Now, there is, I believe that's a Scadutree Fragment or Revered Spirit Ash on the arm of that statue. I don't recommend trying to get that just yet. Instead, what I recommend doing is coming over here, because we're actually going to drain this place now. And if you try to get that on the statue and you fall into the water, you die. So you may as well just drain the place first and then try to get it. And if you fail, you just take an elevator back up and try again. All right. So we want to be careful here, because past this bat, there's an alcove with a couple more bats. Okay. All right, we're going to come up here, and then the sluice gate switch is on top of this platform. And now the place is drained. So that corpse that had the Great Grave Glovewort is that corpse you see sort of in the bottom left. And I like that they point you right to the site of grace. I think that's very nice. Yep, so the Site of Grace is right there. I am just going to mark it on the map, just so I know where I'm going, just because we're not going to jump down there just yet. Instead, we are going to go after the that item that was on the statue arm. Just making sure there's nothing here. No, we'll just have to come into this building when we're ready. All right. So let's head back inside. There may be a fire monk walking around. So just be aware of that. He spawns on the other side of this statue room. So let's actually go this way. This one, believe it or not, can be backstabbed, which is quite helpful. He's going to walk down this hallway. Cool. This elevator is an elevator we're going to come back to later, but that leads to an entirely other area. Okay, so let's get this item first. I thought there was an item in that room. It's just the elevator, which is helpful, because I would not have gone looking for that particular elevator. All right. Nice. Okay, that is a Scadutree Fragment. That should be number 32. Trying to keep better track of these things as I play. All right, now I'm going to warn you. There's going to be a boss-level Fire Monk right there. That dude is really hard. He's not an actual boss, but he just has an absolute ton of HP. We also get the Fireknight seal. Sacred Seal of the Fireknights, who answer directly to Mesmer the Impaler. Enhances fire incantations of Mesmer. The emblem of Mesmer's army depicts a golden ring and the fire of his sacred seal. All right, so I'm just going to attempt... Damn. I was really hoping to avoid the guy getting aggroed. Makes me feel a little bit better about this encounter now. Alright. Let's try to get in on him. Yeah, see, he just has an absolute metric ton of HP. He's quite difficult as a melee build. Which, on one hand, I kind of respect, but... Trying to play this safe with these corpses. Alright, that's half health. That's pretty good. Whoa! That was so much damage. Oh, don't spam. Don't spam. Okay, we got him. Wow. Really hard. Okay, you get the Death Mask Helm. Helm of Wego, Elder among the Fireknights. 2 warped Death Masks stacked, one atop the other. Gnawed at by loneliness, the old man turned his attention to the spirituality of Mesmer's flame, using it as a rite of resurrection. Yet the soulless bodies he brought to life were no comfort for poor Wego. So that was Wego. Okay. We got to carefully navigate this place because we're on 3 flasks. And that's not very many flasks. All right. So, Battlefield Priest Cookbook number 1. Record of crafting techniques left by the devout battlefield priests. These keepers of the faith fought bitterly to spread their gospel in the realm of shadow, where there was no Erd tree to gaze upon. Teaches golden grease and golden drawstring grease. Good for imbuing your weapons with holy. Okay, so we have a choice now. We can go fight a boss, which I guess we'll do because we're here. I want to replenish my flasks anyway. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fight a really important story boss. This is the Scadutree Avatar. The Scadutree Avatar is incredibly weak to fire damage. So we're going to change the scaling, or the affinity on our plain Uchigatana to fire. And this is a boss you have to kill 3 times. The 3rd time it comes back around, or each time it comes back around, it gets weaker and weaker, but it also becomes stronger. So, like, it moves slower. It's more belabored in its movements. Like, you could tell that it's injured, but it hits harder. And so you got to be very, 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 very careful. All right. Oh, change our Ash of War. Highly recommend doing this with a Flame Art Ash of War. Right, you get some good fire damage on that. Okay, so this boss is very intriguing. I don't remember this bridge. Okay, this is the room I remember. Isn't there a site of grace right here? There's that other Iris of Grace. Yeah, that's so weird. Why are there 2 sites of grace? Anyway. Marika's Rune. All right, so that right there, this is the Scadutree Avatar. So it can throw thorns at us that stack bleed. So if you need to, go ahead and equip your stanching boluses to stanch the bleeding. You can summon Black Knife Teak if you like. It doesn't really do any elemental damage. Instead, it mostly just does physical and holy damage. So once you approach, you can basically start hacking away at it, but the actual sunflower petal is the weak part. So that's the weak part. Ow, I was trying to ready my weapon. Okay. So it does have a grab attack, which is this. You just want to look out when it does that, but you can see how much damage I'm doing, and I'm barely swinging. Like, it's just fire damage. All right, so that's phase 1. You're going to be able to do a critical on it, and then it's going to quote-unquote die, but it is not dead, okay? It's coming back. So just wait for it to come back, and then you want to immediately buff your weapon again. So just look for it. Oh, please. It's going to zoom 3 times. That's once. Ow. Twice. Oh, 3 times. I thought I had more time. All right, 3 times. And then this is like a Starfall attack, very similar to the Erd Tree Avatars and Lands Between. Same idea, just run. this. Just watch out for geysers. I'm just going to stand here. Now. I feel like they nerfed the duration of this. So anyway, that slam is actually a grab attack. So you need to be very careful when you see it sort of charge up. Heal. Zooms. Wow, cannot believe I managed to get out of the way of that. 3 times. Just run. Pay close attention to its arms. It's going to whip around. Ow. God, those barbs are killer. Ow, I thought it was going to zoom. What am I doing? I'm dead. It's a grab attack. I got so greedy there. I got so unbelievably greedy during that. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just trying to get that last hit. But that's what happens. You get greedy. Okay. Watch out for the Thorns. Can do the same thing the other way. So, unfortunately, we are back in Phase 1. So, like, you don't get to start at Phase 2. You got to do the whole thing over again. If you've already killed it twice and then you die, you got to kill it all 3 times again. Just always look out for a place where there's no Thorns. It's rare that it does that attack. And if you find the Sunflower Head too tough to get to, you can, you can just attack the trunk. You'll just do less damage. So just always try to go for the head. It can make targeting a bit of a nightmare, though. Like you saw there, like it shot past me, and then you kind of get turned around. So. Ugh, I rolled so early. Oh, it didn't do it 3 times. I wonder if that's because I got hit. Ow. I'm just going onto the trunk because I'm here. Trying to get any damage that I can. Stop. Whoa, okay, that's that. Just gotta find the head again. Oh, there it is. I don't know if it can come back if you don't kill it right away. I've never tested that. Alright, let's get back towards the middle now. Oh, shit. That sucked. Alright, so this attack here, just recommend blocking it. But this is what I mean, like, so even though this is Phase 3, it does very strong attacks, but it is weakened. It is like in a weakened state all the time now. So you gotta be very careful with your movements. Now it's gonna do it a couple times. You can roll them, it's just pretty difficult timing. Heal. All right. Oh, damn. I did that second roll way too quick. All right, but that's it. That's the boss. Now it's actually dead. We get the Remembrance of the Shadow Sunflower, and more importantly, Miquella's Great Rune. Miquella's Great Rune has a very specific purpose, and it is to be used during the final boss fight. So, if we read Miquella's Great Rune, it is broken. There's no tower for us to activate it at. Miquella has shattered his own Great Rune. So it's this Great Rune relinquished by Miquella. Broken and bereft of its bounty, it retains naught but the power to resist charms. Miquella set off for the tower enshrouded by shadow, abandoning everything, his golden flesh, his blinding strength, even his fate, all in an effort to bury the original sin, to embrace the whole of it and be reborn as a new god. So this Great Rune does nothing except resist charms. That's it. So I don't know if this has like a PvP implication, where like if somebody tries to charm you or something, I don't even know if that can be used in PvP, but as far as I know, it is only useful during the final boss fight for a very specific move that the final boss does. Alrighty. Cool, so that is that fight, and that's right here. That's how you get to this area. So now, let's go back to the Tree Worship Sanctum. Oh, wrong one. Go to Tree Worship Passage. We're going to take that elevator back up. Again, I don't know why there's two sides of grace there. I don't get it. Put that side of grace and then have the Stake of Marika. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? That is one thing that I feel like has gotten progressively worse in the Souls games is bonfire placement. It just kind of makes no sense these days. I mean, look at this. There's a billion of them. It's crazy. And a lot of these are right on top of each other. Anyway, moving on. All right, so we're back inside of Church District. Now we have some work to do on the ground floor. So, tread very carefully when you go outside of these places. So let's go this way now. All right. Now, if you recall, when we were going through this place when it was flooded, there was quite a lot of rumbling going on. And that's because there are ulcerated Erdtree spirits in this area. So just like the Scadutree avatar, its Erdtree counterparts are still here. So these are kill once enemies, but you want to make sure to kill them because they do drop some useful items. Oh my god, I was looking for a spot where there wasn't a geyser. Ow. Come on. All right. So we get the Mantle of Thorns, which is a sorcery of those who abandon the practice of incantations after devout faith rewarded them with only despair. Covers the caster in impenetrable thorns grown from the shadow tree. Once covered, dodge rolls will damage enemies. The image of the misshapen shadow tree is an edict. Spurn all that exists, wound all that exists, for we have been abandoned. Okay. So, basically, you get the Briar armor. Why am I running like this? This feels like heavy roll. It's not, but it just looks like it. All right, anyway. You get the Briar Armor as a sorcery, more or less. Okay, so this elevator will bring you back to the start. So I'll show you now. This is a weird elevator that you have to jump off of. Was that a different one? Oh, that's the other one. Anyway, this brings you right back to the start. So you have this side of Grace here. Right at the start. If you'd like, you could take this route. But we're going to keep going down. There is another Ulcerated tree spirit nearby. So let's take care of that. And we'll actually begin making our way to that side of Grace that we saw when we drained the place. I feel like my shoulders are like heave-hoing a lot. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Alright, this is the side of Grace. The one from earlier. Go ahead and light that. And if you'd like, you could rest, but I have 11 flasks. I'm fine. Don't forget to come in here and grab the treasure that we saw before. Okay. Now, just be on the lookout for earthquakes and whatnot. There will be another Ulcerated tree spirit somewhat nearby. Let's go around here. This is back toward that elevator. All right. So it's going to pop up right around here. Great. Oh, didn't want to do that. How did I not get grabbed there? That was insane. Alright, so unfortunately fighting this one can be a bit of a pain. Mostly because there's a gigantic crab in the building that it's next to. And you can aggro both and one should, help you kill the other, but it just makes fighting this thing in this narrow area really, really annoying. Oh, God, dude. Yeah, do your phase transition. There you go. Oh, no. I didn't want to do another Rivers of Blood. Guess I hit L2 too many times. Whip. Alright. Very good. That should drop an Iris. That's the Iris of Occultation. So basically, it's like a contact lens, if you think about it. It's an eyeball. And that eyeball either provides, like, the light of grace, or it takes it away. So depending on the fate that you want to give an NPC who asks you for the iris, you choose one iris or the other. So you either plunge them into eternal darkness or you plunge them into eternal light. Up to you. I'm going to bring the Iris of Grace back to Queelign because that's the fate I want for him. Okay, like I said, big crab. Luckily, I find crabs in the Realm of Shadow not to be too bad. I'm not sure if that's just because, like, I know exactly how to deal with them, or if they just don't have a lot of health. I don't know. I find the crayfish still to be an absolute nightmare. Okay. All right. So that is it for the bottom section of this place. However, yeah. All right, let's go back inside via another elevator. I just have to find this elevator. This place is kind of confusing. So that's the elevator that goes to the start. But then there's another elevator for us. Should be over here. Okay, let's go back inside. I could have sworn that there was another elevator. I'm like 99.999% sure there's an elevator. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so it's actually inside the building. I thought it was outside. All right. I don't know if that person lived. All right. So I'm going to try to very carefully backstab this guy. Great. Let's come over here. And there's going to be another fire monk here. Strange. I feel like he's just going to show up in our face in a sec. There he is. All right. I'm going to wait for this guy. Just because I hate fighting these things. Actually, this isn't going to matter. Probably get a bit of a jump on him, but he patrols right through this doorway. Let's try this. Groovy. I hate dealing with these guys. Okay, so now we can return to Fireknight Queelign and give him the Iris of Grace to turn him into a Spirit Ash. Turn up the volume for you. Also read the Iris of Grace. All right. An iris blessed with an incantation of the Erdtree, place on the eye of another to grant them the light of grace as a fleeing blessing. Can also be used to receive the blessing of an equipped Great Rune. In the realm of shadow, this artifice was employed by the priests of the Erdtree to quell the fears of their flock to magnificent effect. And then the other one reads, an iris that is as dark as night, place on the eye of another to deny them the light in all its forms. Can also be used to receive the blessing of an equipped Great Rune at the cost of all runes currently held. So you can activate your Great Rune, but you lose all your runes. In the realm of shadow, this artifice was employed by the priests of the Erdtree to intensify the fears of their flock to magnificent effect. So either incite fear or help them out. So let me pump up the volume and we'll talk to him.
Queen Marika, I implore thee, bestow thy grace. Take not from me my solitary light. Ah, Queen Marika, dearest mother, I shall silence all who would trespass upon thy peace, as decreed by the grace of gold. No soul shall thy sanctity imperil.
Okay, so if you give him the Iris of Occultation, you'll get his weapon instead. But this says Ashen Remains, in which spirits yet dwell, used to summon the spirit of Fireknight Queelign, and attacks immediately after being summoned. Do they all do that? I don't think I ever noticed that. No, it doesn't say that on all of them. Anyway. Spirit of a Knight granted relief by the Iris of Grace. Wields a spear-like greatsword that impales foes upon fire, keeping the taint of impurity away from fair Mother Marika. That grace was his salvation, though it was but a fleeting blessing. And having been saved, all that left to him was to wage war. This dude just loves killing people. That's his whole vibe. But now we get him as a Spirit Ash, and again, if you give him the Iris of Occultation, you'll get his weapon instead. So, on your playthrough on New Game Plus, do it the other way. Okay. So, now what we're going to do is we are going to cut across... Oh, no, never mind. All right, now we're going to go to this elevator. So, this elevator is going to bring us to an area that we have not yet been. Is going to bring us to a place called the Specimen Storehouse. The Specimen Storehouse is part of Shadow Keep. It's part of the same building. It's sort of like the back half of Shadow Keep. There is an area of Shadow Keep that you cannot reach except via this elevator and a few other elevators. Like, this whole section of Shadow Keep, or the Specimen Storehouse, you can't reach except through this specific elevator. So if you have been through Shadow Keep and Specimen Storehouse and you've been wondering, like, hey, how do I get to this person? How do I kill this enemy? This is how. So if you'd like, you can drop down and start doing the Specimen Storehouse, but I don't recommend doing that. All right, go ahead and activate this site of grace. And now let's begin clearing this place out. So we're going to go up this elevator in a moment. However, there are quite a few enemies back here that I want to kill first. These enemies are actual enemies. So they have those fireballs that the Fire Knights use. Wow, we managed to do this without activating the Fire Knight. That's crazy. So these are not the same enemies from before. These are Fire Knights. These guys rely much more heavily on physical damage. So, yeah. Actually, no, these are the same. There's another breed of these guys here. I thought they were different. Okay, never mind. Anyway, go ahead and grab the Carian Thrusting Shield. Oh, cool, Fire Knight Greaves. Nice. Oh, we got the Helm hands, too. Silver Thrusting Shield embedded with glintstones enables the wielder to attack and guard simultaneously. Once wielded by Rolana, the Twin Moon Knight, during her sole entry into ritual combat, a demonstration of fidelity to the Erd Tree. Gauntlets of the Fire Knights, under Mesmer the Impaler's personal command, each and every knight hailed from a renowned family of the Erd Tree's upper echelons, but were shunned and chased from their homes after pledging allegiance to Mesmer as their master. So yeah, there's another type of Fire Knight within the Specimen Storehouse, but I guess maybe they're just on the other side. I guess these guys stay with the Church District type. All right, we're going to go up this very long ladder now, and we're going to pop out of a bookshelf that puzzled me for a long time. I did not understand how to get over here. I scoured the Specimen Storehouse over and over and over, not realizing that there was a back entrance through the Church District. But why would you know that, you know? Okay. Carefully. Backstab this guy. That's going to kick him off the ledge. Very good. You'll get his runes eventually. These guys you want to kill, because as you saw before, they do cast those fireballs, so you want to get rid of them. You don't want to take any chances with them. Up here. See if I could get a backstab on this guy. Oh, these guys are different. Okay. Yeah, these guys are double. Okay. Cool. Anyway, moving on. Keep killing these guys. Again, you don't want to take any chances with them. So our exit is actually right here. It's this hole in the wall, but we're not ready for that just yet. Get the Fire Serpent Incantation, which is that same fireball that you see all these guys using. Incantation of the Fire Knights under Mesmer the Impaler's personal command. Launch a serpentine flame that bends and curls in pursuit of its foe. When the flame they receive from Mesmer would not find purchase within them, the Fire Knights relied on fire incantations to honor their bond. So the blessing of Mesmer would not take purchase with it. Like, it sort of means, like, it wouldn't go inside of their bodies. So they had to rely on incantations. Now, I am pretty sure that purchase means child, like to become like pregnant with. And it's used like all over the place. But I've tried looking it up, and apparently that is not a definition. But I feel like I've heard that in fantasy literature so many times. But it's fine. Okay, so let's take this elevator up. This is the Specimen Storehouse Loft side of Grace that we just activated. That one right there. Let's take this elevator up, and there's quite a lot to do on these rafters, so let's get to work. There is a specific place to exit that we need to take. But we're going to do some work in other places first. All right, don't be afraid to use your bow. Good. There's going to be another bat up here to our left, so just be careful with this one. I don't recommend targeting the bats while you're up here unless you're killing them from a distance, just because the camera can kind of take hold and push you off a ledge if you're not careful. Okay, that's that. Come over here. Great. Now that bat over there is kind of going a little crazy, which I don't love. I'm going to see if I can get him to follow me. Okay, very good. Cool. So let's drop onto this wheel. Interesting. I wonder if these turn. Probably not. They don't seem to be attached to anything. The Specimen Storehouse, this central thing, it rotates, and I'm curious if these gears actually move. Knowing from software they do, but these side ones, I don't see why they would. Anyway, go ahead and jump here. Very careful of the bats. So our destination is that doorway right there. However, we're not done with the rafters. There's still a lot to do here. Oh my god, are you kidding? Oh my goodness. Oh Gotta get out. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with this. Wow. Man, that was absolutely close. Okay. That's that. Okay, that's that. Getting me nervous. All right. So that item up there is reached in a really, really precarious way. So you got to be very careful when doing this. We're going to take this elevator down. Okay, let's go over here. Let's kill this guy. Fortunately, I'm like totally out of corpse piler. Okay, that's fine. Rune of an unsung hero. Oh, God. That's what they meant by bug. Now that sucked, and I totally just got trolled. Oh, man. That really bites. I 100% got trolled. Whoa. God, that's so frustrating. All right, well, luckily there's like a easier way back. Man, I just fully got trolled. I hate that phrase too. That is absolutely what just happened. I mean, we had to come over here anyway, but still. All right, that's the Wrath from Afar incantation. It's exactly what just got used on us with that Fireknight. An Erdtree incantation discovered in the realm of shadow fires a golden shockwave that knocks back nearby foes. Charging increases the size of the shockwave. When the Elden Ring was shattered, the people of the realm of shadow felt it too and feared it as a sign of the Erdtree's wrath. They weren't wrong. I'm gonna do this jump here. Very good. All right. Gonna attempt to sneak here. What kind of arrows are those? Just plain old arrows, huh? Can I not just craft arrows? Just bow and arrows? Okay, whatever. Anyway, let's go back in on this guy. Get our runes. Oh, this isn't where we dropped? This is. All right. Man, I can't believe that. Got him. All right. Okay. So what we have to do now is trying to double check here. This is a really weird sequence that we have to do. I'm going to send that up. Take this one up. Can this guy hit me from here? He sure can. Let's take care of him before we do anything. Please don't kick me off. Okay. All right. So we have to do this very odd sequence of elevator antics over here. All right. So basically the idea is that we need to ride the left elevator up. So, okay, we did this in the correct sequence. You want to make sure that the right elevator is up here, okay? So if it's not, send the left one down, like ride the left one all the way down, step out, step back in, hit the switch, and then immediately step back out, and then ride the right one up. And then we're going to send the right one down, and then immediately get out, and then we're going to ride the top of the left one. It's going to look like this. Okay. Wait for this to get somewhat close to you. And then you're going to be able to jump over here and get this item. Okay. Jesus, that is such a... I kind of dig the challenge, but that's so terrifying. Okay, this is Fireknight Hilde. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell used to summon the spirit of Fireknight Hilde, a spirit who belonged to the Fireknights, an order which answers directly to Mesmer. Hilde swings a slender greatsword and casts fire incantations. Hilde was a dear friend to Salza the Sage and joined those who urged that the specimens be preserved. Hilde's ashes were enshrined as a charm to protect the storehouse. So Hilde wanted the specimens saved, and I guess maybe not experimented on or something? I don't know, a little unclear. Anyway, now... just want to safely get to the bottom here. There's a ladder over here. Okay. We are done with the rafters now. So let's hop down here. Whew. All right. Now, if you'd like, you can drop down here carefully and get to the boss of the Specimen Storehouse. I don't really recommend doing that. Just do this place normally. All right. But now we're going to fight the boss of the backside of the Specimen Storehouse. This person goes by the name Commander Gaius. Commander Gaius is a pretty tough boss fight. One thing I want to mention really quick, this door does not open. This door is visible from within the Specimen Storehouse. You can find this door within the Specimen Storehouse. It does not open. I don't know why they chose not to activate that door, but it's weird. It's like, it's such an odd choice that, like, their level design always accounts for those things, but not this time. Very weird. All right, Commander Gaius is a horseback fight. You have a huge arena to fight him in, but I actually recommend just doing it on foot. It's way easier. Okay. So, welcome to the storehouse back. Side of Grace. All right. We're going to come in here. There's a riddle here and a statue. We're not going to worry about the statue. Instead, we're going to pick up Scadutree Fragment. I believe that's 34. Should be 34. All right. No levels available. All right. Let me just double check. So 14 is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 20, 23, 26, 29, 32. Okay, so that's number 33. Yeah, okay, so that was Scadutree Fragment number 33 out of 50. So there's 17 left. Okay, so this boss fight is Commander Gaius. Again, it's sort of a horseback battle, but I don't recommend it. This guy uses a lot of gravity magic. Believe it or not, he was trained by the same person as Radon, so it has some similar things, but nothing too crazy. The thing that you really got to watch out for is like this wild boar rush. When that happens, just dodge very late, and you should be able to dodge it. Otherwise, just block it. All right, so this is Scaduview, and you can see this guy charging along there. This is the boar rush ability I was talking about. Just dodge late. Not late enough. Oh, please. Oh, come on. I just want to heal. Whatever. Time to fight. All right, so this gravity lance, do your best to look out for that. And just dodge it when you actually see the spear move toward you. Otherwise, you're dodging too early. I'm just going to heal. Of course. Just try to keep the bleed up on him if you are using a bleed weapon. Watch for the donkey kicks. I dodged that so early. I didn't even take my own advice. So yeah, we just blocked it there. Well, you just take the stamina damage, you do a backflip. It's not that big of a deal. When the boss gets close to about 50% HP, donkey kick, he's going to start using gravity magic a lot more. So you got to be careful. He has Tree Sentinel sweeps. You should be somewhat familiar with those. Oh my god, with the donkey kicks. All right, so here he goes. Big gravity magic. He's going to jump and then do this like spiraling attack. Just dodge late. That's it. Not a big deal. Donkey kick every time. Every time. All right, so now a lot of his abilities are going to be infused with gravity magic, so you're going to take a little bit of damage when blocking. It's not much. So, you know, don't be afraid to, like, don't feel like you got to, like, completely modify your strategy or anything. It's not that bad. I don't know why I didn't just attack. Gravity orbs, nothing too crazy to worry about. They are gravity wells, so, you know, just try not to stand in the center of them, but you'll be okay. Try to drink this flask. Wow. Okay, I was like, I can't believe I survived that sweeping slash. Long combos. But again, it's really just Tree Sentinel stuff, and I'm pretty sure this music is from the Tree Sentinels. Of course. I don't know why I'm trying to bow him to death. I'm like trying to be flashy about it. I'm being an idiot. Just dodge late. And that's Commander Gaius. Again, not too bad. He's a lot harder on horseback. That's why I just recommend fighting him on foot. It's like not worth doing it on horseback at all. Okay, before you head forward, I recommend resting at the site of grace, but let's read the remembrance. It says, Remember of Commander Gaius, hewn into the Scadutree. Power of its namesake can be unlocked by the finger reader. Alternatively, it can be used to gain a great bounty of runes. Both were his elder brothers to the lion, and both were cursed from birth. In spite of, or perhaps because of this very reason, Gaius was both Messmer's friend and the leader of his men. All right, so let's rest at the site of grace, and then there's an item nearby that will tell us a bit more about Gaius. So you can ride Torrent out here. And what's interesting is if you come over here, this overlooks the Scadutree avatar boss room down there. Right down there. Alrighty. So, like I said, there is an item out here that gives you a bit more lore on Gaius and his relationship to Radon. I don't believe there's any items over here, but I'm just going to check this corner. No. Okay, very good. All right, so if you come through this path, there is an opening, and this is going to lead to this building that you have been able to see basically since the beginning of the game. It's this moon, half-moon-shaped building. But there's another building out here. Just checking back here for any additional items. Don't believe there's anything back here. Nope. Okay, there's a shack over here. But you want to look very carefully because there's an enemy guarding the shack. I believe I just saw her. There she is. Okay, so there is an Albinoric on a wolf. God damn. And you may be wondering, why the hell is there an Albinoric here? Alright. See, she's got important loot on her. She drops Gaius's Greaves. Gaius's Greaves say black iron greaves made for Commander Gaius, a cruel joke, for he could not wear them. Riding atop the boar he called his other half, Gaius was in fact a warrior of Albinoric extraction. Then we have this shack over here. We get the Sharpshot Talisman. Talisman depicting an archer wielding a longbow. The Albinoric archers were a class of their own, and their deadly long-range specialists struck fear into the hearts of men. I could have sworn... Maybe it's one of the Remembrance weapons, but basically the Remembrance... I'm pretty sure it's the weapons. They go into a bit of detail that Gaius and Radon were trained by the same person in the way of gravity magic. And they both ride an animal and both, you know, do big gravity things. Okay, so this is the Scadutree Chalice, and there are 5 Scadutree Fragments here, so this is going to bring us up to 38. Okay, now we're at 38 out of 50, so really good reward over here. But what's very strange is I don't know what this chalice does. I don't know if it's really been discovered yet. I'm actually going to look it up right now. I don't think it has been. Scadutree Chalice. No, nothing on the wiki. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Very weird. Unclear. Do I use a Blessed Bone Shard here? Nope. Changes nothing. So that's it. That's Shadow View. You get a good view of the Scadutree as well as the moon. But again, I don't really understand the purpose of that. Also, this building is kind of empty. There's nothing to this building. I found this a little disappointing after reaching this. It seems like a really important building. I don't know what that chalice is for. It's like the size of the Lord vessel, but doesn't do anything. I really hope that one day somebody discovers something about the chalice, because it feels very important, but unclear at this time what it could be used for or what its purpose is. Okay, but that is it for now. Let's do this. Let's go back to Roundtable Hold, because I want to check out the Remembrance to see if there is lore on either of the items. I'm almost positive that there is. There's a Gaius's armor. It's Nile, Gaius. There we go. Gaius was the most senior disciple of the same Alabaster Lord who taught Radon and Gaia gravitational techniques. Who's Gaia? Oh, it might be the rhino. The boar, sorry. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. So the boar uses its own gravity magic. I guess that makes sense. The boar is the one jumping around. Anyway, we can also retrieve stuff from its remembrance. Don't forget, the blossom is a weapon. It's a faith colossal weapon. Head of the monstrous shadow sunflower manifestation of the shadow tree. Then again, it might just be a flower wielded as a weapon. Much like the shadow tree itself in appearance, a second stalk winds tightly around the first, almost as if in tender embrace. And then you get the Land of Shadow. It's a cool incantation name. Incantation originating from shadow tree avatars creates a hail of golden projectiles which are fired toward foes after a brief delay. This incantation channels the force of the shadow tree's power and its gold accompanied by shadow. And then we have the Gaius stuff here. Weapon once wielded by Commander Gaius, a sword lance. Combination of a great sword and lance, weighty and capable of being brought to bear with great force. This armament shows its true potential when used astride a mount. Gaius himself was never without his boar. Blades of Stone, gravity manipulating sorcery of Commander Gaius, pulls blade-like clumps of rock from the earth. Gaius and Radon were good rivals in their youth, and this sorcery is a product of their friendly competition. Jesus. How friendly could that be? Cool. Rolana and Renala are sisters. Interesting. Okay. Okay, cool. So, glad to know all of that. Yeah, so that's going to do it for now. But let's go back to Scaduview, and we're going to end at the Shadowkeep back gate site of Grace. And the reason for that is because... actually, we shouldn't go to the site of Grace yet. We should go to Cathedral of Manus Meteor first. We're going to end in the Cathedral of Manus Meteor because in the next section of the walkthrough, we're going to do this entire quest line. So this entire quest line is going to have 4 bosses. 5 bosses, actually. 5 bosses, 2 invasions. Yeah. 5 bosses, 2 invasions. It's going to span these finger ruins down here, these finger ruins over here, and a third finger ruin, which we have not yet found. So, again, we're doing all this. We haven't even touched the Specimen Storehouse Legacy Dungeon. We just did the backside and the Rafters, but we haven't actually done that dungeon or fought that boss yet. Gaius was the boss of Scaduview. Like, he was not really the Specimen Storehouse boss. So there's still quite a lot to do. But we are nearing the end, I would say. Like, we're down to, like, the last quarter of the game. Okay, so yeah, next time we will do this whole quest line in the Cathedral of Manus Meteor. It's got a ton of rewards, and then we'll continue from there. But that's it for now. All right, I'll give a thank you to my channel members. Thank you very much to John Aldridge with 50 months, Silverbullet 13 with 37 months, Daniel Cockerill with 32 months, Brian Brubaker with 27 months, Bagdet Money with 23 months, Greg with 21 months, XLightning84 with 16 months, Harv Fontini with 13 months, Jason Knaps with 3 months, and Working Class Nerds with 1 month. Thank you very much to my channel members. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below this video. You can also leave a super thanks by clicking the heart icon below this video. Don't forget to join my community Discord. The link for that is in the description below. As always, I'm Sweet Johnny Cage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.